Hi, in this video I will go over how to correctly write files with Python. So let's say we had some simple data, such as range 10, and then we wanted to write this to a file. So we would go f equals open, mydata.text, write for I in data, f.write, we need string I, and then we may want to tab separate it. Maybe you want to comma separate it. Doesn't really matter. And then f.close. So let's see what that produced. That gave us this pretty looking file. So the problem is that it doesn't matter what the file looks like if humans aren't going to be reading it. If Python is the only thing that's going to be reading your file, you should not care about the appearance of the file. For example, let's see what we have to do to read this file. So mydata.text. So if we want to get back our original data structure, we would have to do something like this. We would have to int, first of all. We'd have to get some ints going. For I and f.read, we would need to get rid of that last tab character. So I'll just strip empty. And then split empty spaces, and then voila, that equals what we started with. So if you save data like this, it can quickly become a pain as your data structure gets more complicated. And what I'm about to show you will save you tons of time. So how would I save this data? I would just say f.write string data. I would just convert the list to a string and write that to a file. And then let's go ahead and see what that looks like. As you might expect, it looks exactly like our data structure, and you might be confused. Okay, yes, it is our data structure, but now, didn't I just make our life a lot more difficult? Now we have to parse this crazy thing. We would have to strip this bracket. We'd have to split on the commas, or so you think. I'll show you how we would read this file. Use this magical eval function, and then f.read, and I want to get rid of that last tab. And then boom, we have our data exactly how it started. This was a simple example. Your data structure obviously will get much more complicated than this list. For example, here is a file I use for OncoLink. It's not even that complicated. It's a list of lists, and it wouldn't be that hard to save this with tabs. But you can get as complicated as you want. You can have files with lists of dictionaries of lists. You could go crazy with it, and it will save you an enormous amount of time. If you had a very complicated data structure and you wanted to write it comma separated, tab separated, it would be extremely difficult to write and then parse that data, and you can introduce errors into your writing and parsing, and there's no reason to introduce this possibility of error in your code. This is kind of a lazy way to write files, but it's also the most efficient way. And when laziness and efficiency intersect, it's a beautiful thing. I will warn you though, if you have like a gigabyte of lists and you eval that with one string, it'll take Python forever and use up all your RAM. If you have a complicated data structure, I would recommend saving one line at a time of giant lists. Like, it's hard to tell, but there are new lines in this file. It saves one patient's worth of expression per line. So I would not eval this entire document. I would eval one patient at a time, which is still very simple. I mean, you just do a loop and you eval and keep on appending to your data. Okay, I hope you found this video useful, and I hope this video increases your Python productivity.